In 2024, the world of youth professional development is seeking some pivotal changes. The shift to work from anywhere, as Dr. Valeria Laiocono from Simmons Research points out, is not just impacting employees but also reshaping how young people prepare for their future careers, with an increasing reliance on online training that spans across different locations. A key area of focus is EDI, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. This concept, critical in both the workplace and educational settings, aims at ensuring fair treatment and respect for everyone, regardless of their background. It's becoming increasingly important for young people to understand and embrace these principles as they prepare for their professional lives. The trend of personalized online learning, including microlearning, is particularly relevant for young people. This approach offers learning experiences that are tailored and concise, fitting well with the fast-paced lifestyle of today's youths. Additionally, the well-being of young learners is gaining attention. Just like in workplace, the happiness and mental health of students and youth professionals are key to their success and longevity in their chosen paths. Today, we're joined by Aleksandr Stommels, an experienced EU lobbyist and co-founder of CoSE from Brussels. Aleksandr, we're delighted to have you with us. Let's start by discussing how networking has influenced your career and its significance for young professionals today.
Thank you, Alexander. I'm happy to be here. And about your first question, I only can say that I tried in around 10 years of my life to find out what all the sectors that we know in a human being life is possible to learn from. Instead of get the knowledge, I knew about the people who are working there and working there for all their life. And through the way that they want to help me, I could have the challenge and the possibility to connect all the sectors while they're normally working beside each other. So in this kind of way, I experience also that there's always in each kind of sector, there's normally all the generation are working with the same generation. They are not engaged with younger or elderly experts. So through that way, I found it out so that I also could connect there. And from that perspective, I'm getting a lot of recommendation, but also invitation through inviting elderly and youth to working together. And through that way, I'm happy that from embassy field and also from student field are really interested to know how to engage with each other. And instead of saying that I know, I simply share what I did and give them the tools or the keys so they can experience by themselves. Because in this kind of moment, you cannot anymore wait when the butler will come with the plate with everything on it. You need to serve it by yourself, for yourself, and with each other. So this is about your first question.
Thank you very much. And my next question will be, with the rise of remote working and distributed teams, how do you see networking evolving in 2024?
Well, about your second question, I can say that there are two kind of ways that I'm seeing the chances developing. In one kind of field, I see that the people who already got raised to network and do things as in person, they add it as an extra way to communicate or to work when there's like a crisis or a virus or they cannot travel a lot in the same time. But for the generation that didn't learn that and didn't have it, I see as a big problem because it's a good, easy way to work, but they do not learn about emotional experience. They do not know about how much time costs things. So when the internet is gone, you already many will be seeking solutions to have internet again. They will not go to the library. They will not write things on paper. So it's like I see in balanced way good parts and less good parts, and I hope that the people who engaging that will learn. But it's a big problem because it's like a blindness. You can experience if you have experience. If you have no experience, you do not know what you're doing wrong. So it's really difficult to accept them feedback somebody from somebody else that it's not engaging in the same experience like the generation does.
And what challenges and opportunities do you foresee in fostering growth mindset in a global diverse workforce?
Well, about that question, it's really important. Like I already mentioned in the second one, it's engaging each other in different kind of ways. So, if somebody has less experience in person, they need to find these people. But it's so important that these kind of possibilities are available, while the time is also uh, giving chances to do, because the more we get, the better technology, the better ways to work with. We have still less of time to survive or to work because things are getting expensive. We need to live and work sustainable. We got more rules beside of less freedom. So it's a little bit of the question what your mind can do with it. And beside of that, it's only possible if you have a growth mindset, if you have an openness towards chances and towards new things. If you are like a person that is do not liking networking, do not like about problems, do not like about things that it's really civilization, these will have big problems. And there's already many examples what is going wrong. But in the same time, you also see that some generations, I will not only say that it's the younger one, but you see kind of generations will want to more focusing on the gender, beside of the culture, beside of that also want to focus on um, situations that are not a kind of problem, but they make a problem from out of that. So it's for my hope that in the coming time, people will learn, no matter what age, to make from problems solutions instead of from nothing problems, because this is really normal in human being. But digitalization is only making worse, from my perspective.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move to the next question. How do you believe EDI training can be effectively implemented in organizations to address the gap in understanding among employees and managers?
Well, to say it fairly from my side, I'm just trying it as much as possible out. I truly believe that I cannot help 100%, but each little step, each little change can make further developments. For my, what I the most see is that the most organizations that are helping a kind of group or a kind of problem, they're more interested to collect data, to collect people, to collect articles, to simply to show off how much they are involved with the problem. But the problem mostly is not changed or getting better. And I believe that if the organization will be more focused to solve the problem instead of speaking about the problem or speaking about the group instead of with the group, it's getting only worse. But it's always depending who get from what finance, because if you get finance and you need to follow the strict rules, you have less freedom than if you have finance. But without finance you cannot exist in this kind of time. So it's a big kind of adventure, like I call, and it's better to try to simply conclude that it's not doable because I feel in myself it's almost impossible. But in the same way, I'm thinking like, well, it's impossible for the most of the people, but let's try out. Let's see how far it will go together with all the others who wants to change it.
Okay, so what role do you see for personalized and microlearning in professional development?
Well, it's of course important to know that you cannot get things straight away, so it's need to have time. Also, normally you need to have a reputation, not only a good degree or a good network or a good budget in your organization or on your bank account. But it's all about the developments that you did in your time of living. So it's most important if you're thinking from a little perspective that you need to accept to first focus on yourself and not to be dependent on others. Because if you think like, okay, I will collect a group, they will do it, but I will be stay the same, and you will not accept to change yourself. Others will change, but you like yourself will be still be the same. And the question will be, is it doable to survive in that kind of mentality after several years? In professional way, I can only say like you learn from your own experience, but you also learn from experience others who are sharing their knowledge or sharing the difficulties in their work of life. And in the same way, you also learn of cooperating. So if you never want to cooperate, you will have less experience how a cooperation would be, like a project with a lot of partners or a lot of countries. And through that way, you will also have less or lack interest in cultures, because why should you be open for all the cultures if you are not connected in any way that you can think of?
Thank you very much for your honest answers. My next question is the following: how can organizations balance the focus on employee well being with productivity?
Well, on this question, I should recommend that if you are a startup or you found a foundation or an association or something else like an NGO, it's so important that you have already everything managed before you start formally. So it's better to take time earlier to make groups, to make preparation, and when you launch, start everything. If you are doing it when you're founding, you're already too late because you lose money on the website, logo, notary. You need to install work groups. You need to install. So it's so important that you start with everything what you want to start earlier before you're beginning, and it's sometimes for some people really difficult to accept because they want to start with something because they want to have the title like or entrepreneur, while you can be an entrepreneur if you have no startup. It's about the entrepreneurial spirit in your life, in engaging with others entrepreneurs. And what also is important, if you are engaging with organizations, that you need to prepare also in other kind of changes like COVID. Many people lost everything thanks to COVID, and it's the question in coming future that other kind of virus will come back. So some people learned from that way. In the same time, we of course depending on the policy, what we may do and what we can't do. But from that kind of focusing point, I should inform that the entrepreneurs or the organization or foundations or some kind of other kind of organ should focus on the things that are not written, because the things that are not written can be changed or can be developed in a better way of policy. And if you can't find these kind of gaps, you easily can involve a municipality, province, ministry, United Nation. They would gladly like to speak with you because you find these kind of gaps and you have also this kind of attention. And the last, what I should recommend is find gaps inside your own, beside of your outside of the system, also inside of your own organization or inside yourself. Do you find something difficult or do you find something difficult? Try to find a solution or try to write it down, like a description, like what I can do, what I want to learn. If you write this down and you try to change it in internal focusing point, you can also share it external. And I can recommend you that the most of them, they try things out without much of preparation, because it's not the best knowledgeable organization that get the best success, but the organization of the person who start the first with it.
So we understood that flexibility is the key and we need to find our path how to adapt to the new challenges. I would like to thank Aleksandr Stommels for this conversation. Stay tuned and check our other videos. Thank you.